Welcome back, everybody, to the final round coverage of the 2021 Dynamic Discs Open presented by Dynamic Discs. This is the front nine coverage. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here one more time by Nathan Queen. Nathan, we finally got a little bit of the real Emporia Country Club weather.
Yeah, yesterday we got the 5 to 10 mile an hour winds. Today we've got 15 to 20 with some gusts that felt 30 to 40 miles an hour. So we'll see some different conditions here today for sure. We've got Zack Johnson on the card again, along with Chris Dickerson, Ben Callaway, and Anthony Barela.
All players that have highlights just buried in the way that they play. Could be a very exciting round, but like you said, course management is key out here when the wind picks up.
Absolutely, and just like after 2 rounds, we've got a 3-way tie for the lead. Again, these players here are going to be trying to track them down.
Moving into hole number 1, there was a little bit of a helping wind from what I saw, so players might be getting a little bit more aggressive going for the birdie. This deep pin, which wasn't in yet, is making the eagle a little bit more challenging. I know Anthony Barela was very solid at getting the eagle on this hole in the old position.
Yeah, and they do have a tail, small right to left, but mainly tailwind here. So that does help these big hyzers to get pushed way far out there. We could see some drives over 600 foot here on this tee.
Huge hyzer from Chris, trying to get that help from the crosswind.
Sounds like he's chosen maybe something to do with his Tennessee Volunteers shirt there. Sounds like a marching band type thing.
Yeah, you gotta love the walkout song that they're getting the players to do at this tournament. And I'm just thrilled to be able to watch Ben. He did have kind of a rough finish to his round 3, which put him on this chase card, but he is such a treat to watch as a player. One of the most physically talented disc golfers I've ever played with.
Putting a good move on the hyzer out over top of the trees. Gets it wide enough and is still pushing forward.
That's huge.
Tons of distance on that throw. That's 5 to 550 at least.
On a pure hyzer.
From Eureka, Missouri, sponsored by Innova, Zack Johnson.
And we got to watch Zack Johnson yesterday as well. Just throwing dimes into the pin, inside 20 feet. So many different times during the round. We'll see if he can keep that up.
And he's going conservative forehand here.
Yeah, and he's let this go a little early. It looks like he just does stay away from being underneath those little bunker trees there where he'll be able to have a power shot again.
Yeah, the birdie is still in play.
And whenever I mentioned over 600 feet off the tee here, this is the man that I was thinking of, Anthony Barela.
If you haven't watched his coverage at Goat Hill when he battled against Thomas Gilbert, that's where you can watch some serious bombs get dropped. And this course allows him to do just that.
And going with the hyzer stand-up,
Look
look
at
how
that.
long this is turning to the right. Just incredible. He's crested the hill. That's got to be 650.
On a pure golf line, what a play. I love that. It's making the hole pretty easy for him. Zack going with the forehand yet again, playing off to the right side of this fairway now. Still might be able to go another sidearm on his third shot.
Yeah, there's a chance he'll go for the green from there, but it seems like he'll probably be throwing a sidearm to where the old pin was so he can just pitch up and get his par. Chris going another big hyzer and finishes well. He'll have a third hyzer to get down to the green from there.
Ben doing the same thing. Perfect positioning for Ben. He'll be able to throw a putter into the green from there.
Yeah, now you know after that long tee shot, Anthony Barela is going to be going for the green here with another big hyzer.
I never would have thought this green would have been attacked on the second shot.
And gets it out wide.
Come on.
Skips over the OB green.
Safe.
Inbounds. He has an eagle putt on this 1,175 foot hole 1. too crazy.
Zach's coming into the green with a pretty high hyzer, sticks it for the birdie. You know, I'm pretty sure that the course designer did not expect this one to get ran for eagle anymore, but I guess forcing 2 aggressive shots is kind of what they were looking for. Dickerson's has sawed off a little bit. Great shot from Ben.
I still don't really know what to say yet. I hope we get to see this eagle happen here.
Just off the top for Chris. And yeah, let's see if we can. This would be just incredible.
Looks like he's just outside the circle here, has the tailwind and downhill. Gonna have to make sure he gets it high enough.
Just on the strong side. That would have been nice to get. That would have been on the level of the hole 7 Fox Run eagle that Calvin Heimberg notched a couple of years ago.
Still, though, birdie on hole 1 is not a bad way to start the round.
No, averaging a 4.7. You're still taking a solid amount of strokes in the field there. Zach also getting his birdie.
Yeah, Zach showing you can play conservative and still get up there and tap it in.
Birdie for Ben. Pretty textbook, too. He looked pretty under control this hole.
Yeah, so like we were saying about the wind, there really hasn't been that much. So the putting greens have been fairly simple this week. I think that is going to be the most
challenging element for sure. Like I think that's what keeps the scores so high out here is because of the wind. And moving into number 2, this tee shot is tough when the wind picks up. You have to throw a turnover around that big tree in the middle. And if you don't turn it over enough, you are out of bounds. And I believe Ben Callaway is opting to throw a Punisher. I know he threw it in rounds previous. It's kind of a lesser known disc in Discraft's lineup, but we'll see what he does here. It's a lot of Annie.
Wow, enough power to get around that bunker tree on the right. He's still moved too far right, though, and he's going to have a tough time getting up there for the birdie. With the tailwind and left to right that you have here, it's mainly left to right. It's got a good play for this forehand if you've got a good forehand. Easy to get enough distance on it around that tree in the middle.
Yeah, and that should be fine. Probably a tougher birdie from where Zach's at, but if he throws a similar sidearm, he should be okay for par. And Anthony opting for a sidearm as well. Also pushing a bit right.
Yeah, probably a little higher than you need to play it with the wind. If you keep it lower, the wind won't pick it up as much and it'll be able to push forward more.
Yeah, he still should be in a decent spot. And here's Chris going with what I thought our card was going to go with. Probably a little lower shot, like you said, with kind of a late turn on it.
See if this Mario star power can get him going here.
And this is the miss I was talking about. Oh, and he sticks it right before the OB. That's way up there.
Yeah, that wind helped him out a lot, packing that down, making sure it didn't hyzer, and the thicker grass kept him from skipping into the OB. This looks scary from Zach, but the wind is going to push it back inbounds, and he's actually pushed it long of the pin. That's probably close to a 400-foot sidearm he threw right there.
Uphill. Anthony going similar.
Yeah, keeping it on a hyzer this time, trying not to flatten it out. He also pushes it long, though. That wind playing a huge factor.
And Ben stayed safe. Let's see what he tries doing here.
He's trying to play that wind and get pretty far up the fairway. That's what it looked like. I was scared of, though, as he's pushed it too far left. And we'll be playing for bogey at best now.
And Chris, after a great drive, just really shorts that one. Beautiful approach from Ben, fighting against that crosswind. Birdie look is a no-go for Chris. Another hole that plays hard usually, but averaged under par for this field. I know there was a cut after the third round, but still impressive.
An AB with a good putt there, though you can see the flag moving off to the left though, and his putter just moved with it. Zack Johnson going with the layup there.
Was that a lefty putt?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, that was a little short. My eyes might have been deceiving me there, but Ben taps his bogey in. And regardless of what hand, he's going to tap into par and move on to the next hole.
And AB getting the par as well. Here we are on hole 3, 489 feet. Again, we're going to have this left to right here, which helps push this sidearm all the way down this hill to the pin. There is that OB on the right, so you've got to make sure you get it wide enough to not push too far.
Ooh, this looks good from Zack if that pushes. What a rough.
No.
What a rough reaction off the ground there. You were thinking it was going to push right, but just hit a weird spot in that downhill slope.
We saw him yesterday just stick right there instead of getting a skip, and today it's even worse and bounces off into the OB.
And this has to sit down for maybe.
I believe it caught some early branches and slowed that down, which is probably good. I think that was going to push out to the right. Chris may be going backhand up the middle gap here with something a bit more stable, since that crosswind will help push that to the right before it fades.
Yeah, it looks like he's throwing an FX2. Gonna let that get pushed right a little bit before fading back.
This came out a bit low.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the wind doesn't quite pick it up for him. Didn't get enough angle for it to get the lift.
And Ben is also opting for the forehand. He likes to throw his forehands with a lot of hyzer out of the release.
And this doesn't look like it came out left enough. Hopefully it's short enough to get a dig. And it does flare off to the right OB. He'll be pretty far away and pitching up to try to get his bogey yet again here. The wind should help pack this down. Yeah, good upshot. Same from Chris as well, inside 20 feet.
Curious to see if Ben wants to actually make this putt for his par. Maybe a little bit of a safe run. But that's definitely frustrating to start the round out with.
Yeah, disappointing. You get the birdie on the first hole, give it right back, and then fall back again. He's been playing solid this week, though. See if he can bounce back from that. Zack with a good run to save his par after an unfortunate skip. Gets it high enough, but doesn't get the drop.
And another par for Chris, just kind of coasting along. Again, when the wind picks up like this, parring is not that big of a deal. You just kind of have to wait for your opportunity to start scoring.
Yeah, with the high winds, you just want to avoid bogey.
Exactly.
And eventually, at the level these players are, you're going to have the birdie opportunities.
Hi, my name is Chris Dickerson. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. I want to say thanks to my sponsors, Prodigy Disc, VII Apparel Company, and check out my signature series PA3s.
Moving into number 4, downhill 423 feet with OB all around it. This is just going to be straight up power hyzer game for all these players, I believe. But again, we saw the other day that this wind is making it very challenging to push a hyzer at the basket. You kind of have to aim a little straighter.
Yeah, and it's a stronger left to right today. So if you throw on that hyzer angle, you really have to trust it and throw it towards the basket. This is stood up, so it's not going to push it straight down. And he has enough power. Again, we see him bounce on the green and then off. A very tough headwind putt from about 40 feet there.
And we watched again yesterday, 3 of our players all kind of make the same mistake, trying to trust the hyzer over the green, only to have their drive get shoved straight down. We'll see if Chris can throw a little straighter at the basket. Yeah.
Yeah, great shot from Chris there. The wind, it looked like it was going to make it. The wind packs it down. He's still just outside of the circle with a left to right circle's edge putt.
This
Zack
is right.
Pulling this out wide, and it stands up. I'm not sure this one's going to make it back in. Yeah, and the wind catches it on the flare as well. He'll be moving back to just before the green, which is probably 70 feet or so.
And I know Ben is a fan of the Nuke OS. I can't quite see what disc that is.
And he's stood this up as well, but he did release it further left than the others, and it just stays in bounds. Another circle 2 look for the card. And Zack having that forehand pick up on him, he's left himself a bit of a tester now for his bogey.
Chains are blowing in the wind.
Yeah, it's always scary when you can see the the basket moving in front of you. And the wind just hangs that up there and it catches the band.
Just low for Ben.
Yeah, he was expecting that lift that he saw AB get, and it just stays low, catches the cage. You just never know with this wind.
And this one actually benefits Chris, having that left to right to kind of push the disc towards the basket. And that's a great step putt birdie for Chris. Finally gets one on the board.
And there you go, ends in.
Yeah, in is in.
Able to get the bogey. Still not what he's looking for, but definitely happy to make that putt.
No problem there for Anthony. And this hole has been consistently proven to be hard for players, and so is number 5. Kind of a surprisingly challenging hole. You have to pick a side on your drive. You cannot be center cut in this fairway, or the look for birdie is very challenging.
Yeah, it's one of the shorter par 4s that we play on tour that is still one of the more difficult, just because of how specific the landing zone is. This was looking good, and it got that carry over.
Yeah.
He might be far enough left to be able to throw a hyzer sidearm, but he might have to choose a gap up the middle.
And there is that wind pushing to the left side, so players might be trying to opt for that. That's actually kind of a red zone for AB. He's going to have a challenging second. And it looks like Ben is trying to play that left side. Hopefully he does not get the path skip. Perfect positioning for Ben.
Yeah, that's a great spot to be. It's scary when you let go of the tee shot, but as soon as you land there, you've got a great chance for birdie.
And that's going to be right there. Let's actually check in on some form. Let's look at Ben Callaway's just beautiful mechanics. Yuli said he's in his top 10 favorite backhands. So simple and gets so much power out of it. The disc does not move that much in his stance. Great throw from Ben.
Yeah, and this looks pretty good from Zack here as well. He's held it wide enough, but it does come in a little short, headwind holding him up there.
Much better trajectory from Ben, but still just not enough power on it.
Yeah, and AB gonna have to go low through the middle here. Does not get the low part, and does fall down inbounds though. Should be an easy pitch up for par from there. Chris taking the low backhand line. It's a little skinnier to get around that last tree on the right on this right side, but it does slope better as far as the disc coming in to stay on the green.
Yep. There's his look for birdie from about 15 feet.
And Zack giving it a pretty good bid from there. Excuse me, that was,
I believe that was AB.
yeah.
And Ben is just totally fine taking a par.
Yeah, and a good birdie there from Chris. Getting back to back after having a couple chances early and not quite taking advantage.
And that is the mistake you cannot make on this chase card. Shooting you down the leaderboard with every short putt that you miss. Players are tapping in their pars, and AB is going to tap in an unfortunate bogey.
Best word to describe the T-Bird 3 is consistent. Straight, just slightly stable. That's exactly what I get every time. Grabbing the disc and knowing it's going to be consistent. That thought popping into my head when I'm lining up that straight shot, that's the confidence booster. That's all positive reinforcement. This is the disc that I reach for, and if you want that consistent straight finish, grab the T-Bird 3.
Moving into hole number 6. Kind of a tucked in 340-foot hyzer, but really the OB is so tight that it really makes it a specific shot.
Yeah, and you've got about a 20-mile-an-hour headwind coming at you with gusts higher than that.
So
You see a lot of players just straightening it out here, trying to stay away from that OB on the right side.
and Ben going for it here.
Yeah, putting it up high, trusting that wind to hold it up.
No,
But
again.
Yeah, he gets up to that green, which is pretty skippy, and it just scoots long.
Misfire there for Zack. It's going to be a kind of still a tough up and down with that wind. And that looks like a Firebird from AB.
Yeah, this is going to have to sit down as well. He gets a pretty good little hop in the OB there that pushes him forward, and he does get onto the green. He'll be just outside the circle, I believe. Oh, and a very bad misrelease from Zack there. He's putting for bogey from here and just going to have to settle for the double on a hole you really... I mean, bogey comes into play pretty quickly if you're attacking, but you really got to get your par and get away from here.
Yeah, I'm sure Chris is totally fine just putting that disc by the basket.
Yeah,
Look at these flags blowing.
He was trying to get sneaky through the branches there, just seeing if he could get away with one. Yeah, and the low ceiling, getting him there. Lots of wind, hard to put it up high from down low.
There you go, Ben. Tapping in a par.
Hi, my name is Ben Callaway, PDGA number 39015, sponsored by Discraft, Ironline Disc Golf Supply, Culture Shock Barbershop, and Ledgestone. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to Gatekeeper Media. They do amazing work out here, covering all of the rounds that they do. You can catch me at the next Elite Series event, which will be for me in Santa Cruz, and keep a lookout for me in the future events.
Here we are at hole 7. A great par 4, 669 feet. You've got the OB off to the right side that pushes out left, making you get the disc high enough, but you've got to get underneath this branch as well.
Yeah, tight gap off the tee, forcing the players to hit with power and accuracy. And this looks near perfect.
Yeah, great shot from Chris. Scoots over into the middle, almost down to the bottom of the hill. We'll have a pretty good straight shot to the pin from there.
Oh yeah, Ben has also thrown this so well.
Yeah, in a pretty similar position, and off to the right, there's some branches that takes out of play. Should be a little more open for him than it is for Chris.
Ooh, bit of an early release from AB. If that sticks.
Got a good late stand up there.
Wow, what a shot.
He's gotten over to the left side of the green where he'll have a forehand in.
And that's a really open play from there. And Zack also throws a great shot. That's going to be in a similar spot to AB.
Yeah, all four players here hitting that tight gap with a pretty inconsistent wind, I'll say, off of this tee. It kind of rips around and goes a few different directions.
Look at this sidearm from Zack. It's got to keep skipping.
Yeah, he's got it up pin height inside of circle 2. He'll have a look for the birdie. Ben pulling it a bit wider than he wanted, but he gets through and got a good look for birdie.
Great play on that win for Chris. You saw the disc just get slowly pushed as it's on hyzer.
Yeah, such a fun shot to watch. Chris is great at those just dead straight. Nothing else. And AB flattening this out as well, which keeps him out wide. Now he's got a long tailwind circle 2 look. And he's got good wrist action to be able to get enough on this awkward stance still.
Oh, so close. Oh, no.
Ben just low as well, probably expecting the wind to lift that up.
Kind of a frustrating start for Ben, just so close to having some nice scoring opportunities and just not able to capitalize on it.
Chris making it look easy, just tapping in the birdie. Doesn't really have to worry about the putt, which is really what you want to do today.
Yeah, approach shots mean everything. Picking the side of the basket that you want to putt from, you know, in this wind, anything goes.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
Moving on to hole number 8, the change again. They pushed it back up onto an elevated surface, which makes the play for righties and lefties a lot harder. Downward sloping to the left, so any power hyzers could get a nasty skip. They want you to throw something a little bit straighter and softer landing if you want to get aggressive here.
And Chris looks to have done this pretty well, playing it short, landed in a very wide area of the fairway. Gonna look for some distance on his second shot.
Yeah, it looks like Ben, I believe, has either... I think it's either a zone or a raptor in his hand. I don't think he's going aggressive on this shot. Looking like a zone. No! Again!
Yeah, and the wind just grabbing a hold of the disc. Looking to get that a little wider or a little lower. Either one would have kept that inbounds. AB throwing what seems to be a very flippy disc. That came out on a lot of hyzer and just
Perfect shot.
Stood up the entire way.
And that's the thing about holes like this. You always wonder, you know, if the aggressive play might be good. If you miss left, at least you're missing left way up there, having an easy look at the par.
And Zack going super wide here with the spike hyzer. Gets a great flare, which usually you don't see from the right side of that cart path.
No.
And rolls over into the middle. So good play from Zack there.
Chris with a really nice angle, just a little nose up and hyzer, not too fast of a disc. He's in a great spot. And if you play the layup, you need to kind of get aggressive on that second shot.
This needs to sit down.
And he does. He
And-
gets a huge roll down that hill.
And just low enough. It looked like it was going to catch some fade, but just kept carrying off to the right. AB, after a huge drive, going forehand, going to be trying to push past this tree in the middle. It's a little early and needs to get a good sit, and it does.
That's
He's
really good.
right beside that tree in the middle. He's probably got 150 foot or less into the pin there to get a birdie. And Zack with kind of a funny angle here. You don't end up over this close real often unless you've gone OB. And tries to do a little flex shot. Doesn't get it to hold the entire way, but he's around circle's edge for a birdie look.
Yeah, I'm guessing he was afraid of just that little slope coming in with a backhand, skipping out of bounds. Let's see if Ben can save his par here.
This
Sit
has
down.
come out a little high, gets a good drop late, and
Yeah.
does stay in bounds. He's 20 to 23 feet there. Chris with a nice hyzer stand up. Gets a little bit too much power on it, but he's on the green as well. And a pretty big misfire from AB here. He was in the perfect position and just lets that forehand lift up on him, and the wind carries it just an inch or two out of bounds.
Zack definitely not running that with full force. just trying to take his par. AB in such a perfect position to get that birdie and just couldn't do it, especially after such a solid tee shot.
Yeah, at least he's able to get the par putt in there.
Yeah.
And usually that feels good on this hole. A lot of the time the par saves come from an OB off of the tee shot. So having it as the last throw before your putt takes a little more sting for the par than off the tee.
And Ben does get the par, which does, like you say, feels really good, especially on a hole that normally averages pretty high over par. Today, after the cut, it was a 5.05. So, keeping up with the field. And there's the birdie for Chris. Putting together a pretty solid round right now, as he usually does on the Chase Card. He shot well yesterday, just got edged out of the lead card, and we come to hole 9. This is all out of bounds until you cross the sponsorship walls. We bend the corner into this really secluded, tucked-in green. You have to get aggressive off this tee no matter what.
Yeah, aggressive mid-range. If you've got a lot of power, can get you to an okay angle. You really want to throw a fairway driver or more if you want to get to a good angle to attack for the birdie.
FX2 from Chris.
And this has come out right.
Sit down.
Some pretty good tree play. That could have been a lot worse. He'll be playing for par from there.
I'm curious to see what Ben is playing here. Either an Undertaker or a Buzz. If he wants to get aggressive, he'll throw this Undertaker on some hard hyzer.
It looks like this came out a bit high.
Actually, probably a helpful kick.
Yeah, he was going to keep carrying off to the right into the woods. He's dropped down, still in the woods. And hopefully we'll have a look to pitch up to the corner.
T-Bird, I think, coming out of AB's hand. Look at this. Sit down. No.
And just catches some carry. Looks like it was going to stand up and drift off to the right, but gets pushed left.
Just shows just how challenging this tee shot really is.
And that puts you back at the drop zone, I believe. So it's not really a par save opportunity from there. You're just playing for bogey.
And there seemed to be a pretty hard left to right wind coming out of that tunnel. Oh boy. He might not be too happy in there. We will see.
Chris playing big, trying to get around the corner. I don't think he's trying to get to the green from there, but is trying to get up to take the OB. He may have gotten to the green from there.
That's so solid. Ben playing a pretty textbook forehand around the corner. That hyzer release he likes to throw pays off in that situation.
Yeah, and same for Zach here. Get around the corner and take that. OB.
What a roll after that. That's so
OB left out
uncommon.
of play.
And he's safe. I believe Ben's got a roach in his hand for this shot.
Yeah, good touch there. Plays the fast green, knows it's going to slide up. Yeah, and it looks like AB has found a little bit of trouble in there. Having to go forehand roller. Throws it pretty well, but it doesn't do him any favors and keeps on rolling past the basket. He'll have a hard look for bogey. Chris, after a really good upshot to even have a chance at this putt, looks like he's definitely going to run it.
Well,
Or he tricked me.
Chris Dickerson 1, Nathan Queen 0.
I'm thinking he just caught a late wind read there, didn't quite feel it, decided to lay it up.
AB does capitalize and get his, I believe that's a double bogey we did not catch. Unfortunate there for AB. Par for Zach.
Yeah, and once you don't get that aggressive tee shot that you want, par really feels great on this hole.
Yeah, 9 average to 4.42 on the day, so a par still feels pretty solid. And that's after the cut. That's the average. And as Ben taps out his par as well, we are wrapping up the front 9 of this final round. The wind is taking a toll on these players. Dickerson is still making a very solid push at 4 under par. If he gets another 4 under par in the back 9, he has a very solid shot at being in contention. As you can see, these scores from our top players are still just ridiculous.
Yeah, Calvin and Paul making sure nobody's trying to catch them.
Thank you all again so much. We will catch you on the back 9. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He's Nathan Queen. We are signing off.
We'll see you guys out there.